So it is not often that I post anything online, and even less that I talk about my work. But I'm going to share a success story today because, daggone it, I think I've earned it. I've done something pretty incredible today at Friends. So let me talk about the scope of the work here. The goal was to allow us to have an independent audio feed to our live stream broadcasts that could be at one point connected to what was live and happening in the room, and at another point receiving audio from a different source. Previously, all audio that was going to our live stream broadcast was being fed out of our soundboard. A little bit of massaging going on there in between, but for all intents and purposes, soundboard went directly to the broadcast, and all we had was a little mute button in between the two to mute it in the case of copywritten works, or we just didn't want audio passing. Well, since we have been in quarantine, lockdown, whatever the heck you want to call it, we started pre-recording our services, or we were exclusively online only. So what we did is we changed our background music to be something that we could actually broadcast, and we have gotten accustomed to now on the live stream to hearing that background music. So reason one for this is we have different background music happening in the room, and we want background music to keep happening on stream, so we need two different audio sources there. The other is we want to be able to cut away to other video with talking heads and things like that. Not getting into the video aspect of things, that's actually the easier part, but the audio is the difficult part. So what did I do? Well, we have a PC over here that wasn't doing not that it wasn't doing anything, but it was just used to control our video switcher. Makes sense. Let's throw a ProPresenter on that. Have that guy generating graphics and things, because we have a separate graphics feed before and after service for an announcement role that's specific to our online audience. And we're also having this push audio out of ProPresenter as well for the background music and that. Now, how are we handling switching audio? Now, previously, we had a little, basic mute switch toggle guy right here, would kill the audio or allow the audio to pass. I really liked having this little switch here. It was really easy for volunteers to understand. Okay, if it's up, audio from the room is passing. If it's down, audio from the room is not passing. That is still going to be the case moving forward, and I'm really pleased with that. And now this is the part where I get into how I made this all happen. So what we are using for audio control, I'm not sure if this will show up here. Hi, I'm not a video guy, I'm an audio guy. What we're using here is a Nexia CS DSP box. The CS is their conference system. We're using that box because it gives me 10 inputs and it gives me, I think, 6 outputs on there. We're taking in a lot of different audio sources. We're taking in our board mix, we're taking in audience mics, we're taking in our on-site Pandora music player, because this box not only does mixing for broadcast, but also mixes signal for our lobby speakers and our cafe speakers, and outputs it from there. We're also receiving audio from the other end of our building. That's just so I can pipe it into the lobby speakers. We have audio from this computer graphics PC I have set up. And then I have another thing, which is a control voltage. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So we need to be able to switch audio sources, right? We need to be able to say, okay, when I hit this, toggle switch, I want audio to switch from source A to source B. That was my backpack falling into the garbage can. Sounds simple enough, but we're dealing with a very old DSP box where this would either not be one of the use cases imagined by the designers for it, or there would have been additional controllers that would have been usable to control this. It does have like discrete RS-232 control and things like that. I have neither the skill set nor the time to figure out RS-232 control. I do apparently have time to shoot this video, but hey, I very rarely gloat, and dang on it, I'm gonna gloat. So, how does this all work out? Now, again, if you're a very audio nerdy person, great, awesome. If you're a tech nerdy person, awesome. I'm glad you stuck with me to this far. If you're not, hang on. I'm not gonna explain it for you all, but it might be interesting. So, how's this working? Well, I have a whole bunch of duckers in place. And a ducker will take in an audio source and take in a source that it's listening for, and it will duck a signal accordingly, duck the incoming source accordingly. So, I have on my board mix, I have a direct feed of that, 2 mix, we've mixed that all down. I have a direct feed of that going to all of our in-house locations. Because I'm not going to cut to the broadcast audio at any point. That they're just going to get straight up live what's happening. For the broadcast, record, etc., I have duckers placed on that audio chain. Those ducks are listening to a control voltage. Now that control voltage, I'm not going to walk down and show you, is an old wireless receiver, an old analog wireless receiver that's just picking up all kinds of noise. You can't see my hand, all kinds of noise in the air and outputting that as static white noise. So I'm taking that static white noise, which has a constant voltage, running it through that mute switch and into our system. So what it's doing now is when that voltage is high, it means that the mute switch we'll just say not engaged, or the mute switch is passing current. It's in the up position, it's passing current, voltage is high. When it's high, it hits a ducker. That ducker sees it as high, which means it's going to be ducking the outbound signal, right? Well, that's not what we want, because if it's ducking the outbound signal when the voltage is high, then what's going to happen is when that switches in the up position, the position that we'd think, audio in the room is engaged, it would actually be the opposite. It would be killing that. And yeah, I could train people and put labels, but that's just contrary to human nature. So what I did, let's see if I can show this here. So you see my duck right there. I know it's reversed on video, but what I've done, the duckers on this, they have not only audio in and out and sense in, that kind of stuff, it also has logic out. So what this is going to let me do is coming out of the logic of that first duck. The duck is basically what the first ducker is doing is creating control logic for me from the signal. And so that signal comes in, it ducks, signal's high, which means it's saying in its logic, all right, signal's high, engage the duck. Logic comes out saying engage. Well, then I've got my pair of, let's see if you can see it here. Yeah, I got my pair of ducks right here that are linked together through logic, the logic in and logic out. They're linked together on my left and right, and they will duck at the same time. That logic is coming in, and it's saying, hey, when it gets a high control voltage, it's saying duck. what's nice about this is it has the option in there to invert the inbound logic. So when it sees, now when that duck sees, hey, engage me, engage the duck, now what's happening is it's actually keeping the duck off. And when that when the first duck that's creating the control logic, when the voltage goes low and it says, okay, signal is good to pass, that logic goes out to the other duckers. They see the okay to pass logic and they flip that and they say, okay, now we need to mute it. So now when my switch goes down, it mutes the inbound audio. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. Got a recording playing through our room here. It's Pastor Steve. You can see our audio meter. Nothing's happening here. Mute switch is down. I flip it up.
As we worship, and it's good to be here on this weekend, July 4th.
Down.
And imagine if you're like me.
Now, one of the nice things about using that duck is that I can set attack and release times, so it's a nice smooth couple hundred millisecond fade in, couple hundred millisecond fade out. There's no boom when it comes in and out. The other cool thing is I said we have this alternative audio source that I'm running off of the PC. What's cool about that is that audio source is ducked by that audio that we were just listening to. And it's actually just listening to it. There's no control voltage or anything like that happening with it. And so what happens there is it's listening, and if there's no audio coming in from the room, it lets up and lets this PC's audio through. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. So now, see, audio's passing from our PC here, but I'm going to start Pastor Steve up again with the audio engaged with my switch. I hit the button.
Well, welcome today, back in the worship center. We are so glad that you're here.
That audio takes over, and then I'm going to turn it off. Ooh, butter smooth. It just fades right in, just takes over once audio is gone. And so, yeah, now I've got it, man. I did it. I got this all set up. And what's cool is that audio takeover, I also set that up in the lobby. So lobby background music will auto fade in as soon as service is done. So yeah, that's what I've been up to for the last day, is getting that audio set up and working. And it's honestly freaking magic. I'm amazed it works. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to get back to work and finish this up. Bye.